Coming up on This Week in Japan, a cool Brazilian churrasco restaurant in Asakusa, a tour of one of Japan's most popular used goods shop, and joining a Japanese cult. Yokoso peeps, welcome to another episode of This Week in Japan. I'm your host, OzzyAwesome.
I wish that I could be like the cool kids, like the cool kids.
In terms of channel news, I was at the YouTube studios a couple of days ago filming with Kei-san. She's putting out another music video, so look forward to that. It'll be on her channel. So in terms of Patreon, I have 22 pledgers, so thank you for your continued support. Please look forward to more behind the scene and Patreon only videos coming up soon. So last month I got a comment from one of my viewers who wanted to know if I sell t-shirts or any kind of merchandise. I suck at art and drawing. This is the only thing I could come up with. So I was talking to my friend KD79 and he suggested, why don't I hold a contest and get all my viewers to submit t-shirt ideas and everyone together votes on the one we like. So for the month of July, I'm going to be accepting any t-shirt or logo ideas you guys have. You can email them to me at ozzysbaka@gmail.com. And at the end of July, I'll put it out for a vote. And the winner, I'll send you a free t-shirt as well, a big bag of Japanese snacks, sour, sweet, and salty. So if that sounds good and you think you're artistic and you want to help support my channel, please send me your submissions at ozzysbaka@gmail.com. Well, that's it for channel news, so let's get on with the show. I'm hot. He's bowing. I'm at a payphone trying to call home all of...
Just use your iPhone.
Oh. So if you do decide to live in Japan, or even if you're visiting Japan, one thing I would recommend for shopping if you are on a budget is a place called Book Off. Basically, it's a used goods shop. They're all around Japan and they're really big. They're usually 3 or 4 floors. And the best part is the prices are very cheap. And you're probably thinking, ew, I don't want to buy stuff from a Japan used shop. But unlike thrift stores or like Goodwills or whatever in North America, Japanese used goods shops have a lot of stuff in very excellent condition. I think the biggest reason is Japanese people really take care of their stuff. They're very careful about how they handle their goods and they're very clean and neat. And the second reason is Japanese people tend not to use things for a long period of time. Once the newer model or once something different comes out and they buy something else, usually they throw away or give away or sell stuff even though it's in really good condition. Also, you probably heard that Japan is a very gift-giving society. So a lot of people get gifts that they don't want. So they take those, so they're brand new, and they take them to the shop and sell them there. The first floor was a sports/men's floor. There's a lot of sports goods. Right now it's summer and it's surfing season, so there's a lot of surfboards and surfing goods. In the winter it switches over to snowboards and stuff like that. There's also a lot of camping gear, a lot of sports clothing, lots of jerseys and stuff like that. And in the men's section, there's lots of backpacks and jackets and t-shirts and shorts and a lot of brand name shirts and jackets and goods, as well as more cheaper, no-name kind of clothing, but all of them in excellent condition. And the good thing about the used shops is the sizes range from really small, tiny, skinny Asian guy all the way to like big American size. So you can find the triple XLs as well. Once you go up, there's the book and the CDs and the DVDs area. Also, there's tons and tons of manga and books and illustration and kids books, adults books, novels. Out of all these aisles and aisles of books, if you're looking for English books, unfortunately, there's only one little small section here, and usually the books are not very good. Along with the CDs, there's DVDs and Blu-rays, and there's video games. What the cool thing is, there's lots of retro video games, so you can find like Game Boy games, or Nintendo, or Famicom, or Sony PlayStation, all the way from 1 to like the newest. There's also Wii and all that Xbox stuff as well. There's also a musical instrument section that has a lot of drums and pianos and guitars and amps and all these other mixers and stuff like that at a fraction of the cost that it would be if you were to buy it new. Going up to the next floor, you'll find a lot of toys, a lot of kids goods. So there's kids clothing, kids strollers, kids backpacks. Lots of toys, as well as lots of adults, not adult as in sexual, but figurines or anime characters or that kind of stuff as well. And finally, there's a women's section. I didn't really want to linger around there too much, so I did like a quick drive-by filming of that area. Everything that girls wear, from brand name products all the way to like Uniqlo or no-name brand as well. And also near the women's area is the expensive stuff, like the expensive watches and jewelry and necklaces and expensive Prada and Bulgari and Louis Vuitton and those kind of like expensive handbags as well. Tourists can come, they can find some interesting cool stuff in there as well, but mostly for foreigners who are thinking about coming and living or moving to Japan long term. I thought it would be a good introduction to a shop that mostly Japanese local people go to and tourists don't really know about. Hotel de Kimashou! You, me, love hotel. Fuck you, asshole! Yeah, man. And today I want to talk about something different, something weird, something that I usually don't mention on my channel. Religion and cults. People who believe in religion, any religion, Christianity or whatever, it's all good, you do what you gotta do. I was just not really into it. Anyway, so I was finally glad to come to Japan because Japan is a very non-religious country. I mean, it is Buddhist or Shinto, or so for weddings and for funerals and for New Year's, Japanese people are very religious for those times only, so like 3 times out of the year mostly, a little bit during Obon as well. But most Japanese people wouldn't consider themselves religious. If anything, they're superstitious. They carry around charms or if they want to pass a test, or they want to get their driver's license, or they want to get better from a sickness, they go to the shrine and buy a little like trinket. So I thought I was safe in Japan. But now I'm gonna go over some of the weird encounters I've had with people in Japan. My first encounter was really strange. I was at a Staya video shop, and I was just looking for some videos, and then this guy was standing next to me. He had a broken arm, and he's like, "Have you seen that movie?" And it was like, I think it was Nicolas Cage, Con Air, and I was like, "Yeah, it's pretty good." And then after that, he was like, let's become friends and let's speak English." So I was like, "Oh man, it's one of these guys who wants free like English lessons." But I'm like, whatever. So anyway, I exchanged my line. Line is like WhatsApp of Japan or of Asia. We met up at Starbucks. "Hello, how are you?" But he didn't speak English. He just kept speaking in Japanese. So I was like, okay, I thought he wanted to speak English. And then within like 2 minutes of talking, he basically just stopped. He looked at me and he said, "Jinsei wa shiawase desu ka?" Is your life happy? And I was like, I guess so. It's not bad. My life was shit, and I had a terrible childhood, and then I became an alcoholic, and I started going to pachinko, which is like slot machines. He's like, I used to go gamble every day at the pachinko, and I just had a shit life. And then something changed it, and something made it really great. "Can I show it to you?" And I was like, okay. And I was scared he's gonna like pull down his pants or something. But luckily, he just gave me this, kind of like a newsletter. And it's all in Japanese. I had no idea what the hell this is. I don't know who that guy is. So he said there's this chant, and I can't remember what it's called, but it sounds something like Nam Gai Rang Nye or something like that. Some weird sounding thing. It doesn't even sound Japanese. He said if I go to the temple and read this, my life will completely change within like the hour. And I was like, right as soon as he said that, I was like, oh man, there's like people like this in Japan too. Shit. So when you go there, you can just repeat. And I'm like, but I wouldn't know what the meaning of anything is. And he's like, oh, the meaning doesn't matter. The main point is you just saying the words out loud, and that'll automatically start the magic spell. In my second experience, I was just walking home. At the red light, I stopped, and she stopped, and she looked at me, and she said hello, and which is weird because girls usually don't talk to strangers, especially gaijin strangers. So it was weird that she was saying hello to me. So I was like, hello, and she's like, where are you from? And I said, Canada. And she's like, can I have your line address? So I was like, oh, okay, sure. So at first I thought, is she trying to pick me up? I mean, unless you're a really, really tall, good-looking, like Leonardo DiCaprio kind of blue-eyed, blonde-haired guy, they don't really pay you much attention. Even if you're gaijin, they'll like smile and nod, or they'll like maybe giggle, but they'll never like talk to you. She emailed me that same night, and she was like, I had really a good time talking to you. And I was like, you only said, can I have your line? And so we didn't really talk. And then she's like, I know that I just met, but I think I can make your life very happy if you come with me to this place that I want to take you to. What kind of thing? Because I'm working. And he's like, oh, it'll only take about 10 minutes. You just have to read something, and then that's it. And then you're gonna have a really good time after. So I just said, thanks, but sorry, I'm busy. I have to work a lot. And then she emailed me a couple of more times, and then I didn't know what to say, so I just blocked her. I was walking my dog Maple through this little park, and these two girls approached. They didn't look at me, they looked straight at Maple. So I was like, okay, good. So these two girls are petting Maple, and they're playing with him, and they asked me what's the dog's name. So I said Maple, and they said, where are you from? And I said Canada. And then one of the girls spoke a little English, so she started speaking to me English. So I was like, okay, typical like university age girls. They like cute animals, and they like to talk English. They want to practice their English. Because if you can drop your dog off, we want to take you to this place in Hanchiba, and it's a really awesome place. And I was like, oh no, not again. She's like, let me give you something. And then she gave me this again. I said, oh, I know that thing. It's that religious thing, right? And she's like, no, it's not a religion. I was like, the prayer thing? She's like, yeah, the prayer thing. I'm like, but don't you pray in religions? And she's like, no, it's not a religion. It's a prayer to help you have a successful and happy life. So once again, I was like, I have to go home. I have to, after I walk my dog, I gotta feed him, and then I gotta eat dinner, and not today, I'm sorry. So then she's like, can I have your line? And I was like, sure. And then she emailed me the same night, and she said, oh, it was really nice talking to you. When do you think you'd be free? Are you free tomorrow night, or the next night, or the weekend and we can take you to the prayer place. And that's when I was sitting next to Yoko. So she took my phone and she typed in F off and don't ever email me again kind of thing. And then I never heard from her again. And finally, I want to talk to you about the last experience I had just last month. So, I was walking my dog and I saw these two women, and then I heard sumimasen, which means excuse me, and I was like, uh-oh, uh-oh. One of the girls said, I just moved here and I don't have any friends, so can you be my friend? Going, and Maple was pulling, which was good, so I was like, oh, my dog's pulling, sorry, I have to go. And then they came like walking faster with me, and they're like, oh, your dog's so cute, can we pet him? And then while the one girl was petting him, the other one was like, the one who just moved here, she's like, so yeah, like, let's exchange. I want to, like, get to know Chiba better. Maybe you can take me around and show me some cool places in Chiba. She emailed me a couple of times, but this was weird because she didn't email me right away and say, hey, I want to take you to a place, or I want you to be happy, or I have this way that makes you happy, or something like that. So instead of going directly to that, she would email me stuff like, just like on the first day, she was like, it's nice meeting you. And then the next day or 2 days later, she was like, hey, what's the difference between like English in Africa and English in North America? So I was thinking, okay, maybe this girl is not part of this Japanese cult thing. Out of the blue, she's like, I have a really important conversation I need to have with you. And I was like, oh, F me, I think I know what this is gonna be. I tried to make every excuse, and then she's just like, okay, just how about we just meet for like 30 minutes at a restaurant. So when I got there, she wasn't alone, she was with her friend. And it wasn't the friend that I met her with when I was walking my dog. It was a different friend, and it looked more like a grandma. It was like a 60-year-old woman or something. And then suddenly she pulled this out. And you were thinking I was gonna pull this out, right? But no, 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 no. They're leveled up. She pulled out this thing. This is a newspaper, or so I thought. It is a newspaper, but it is a newspaper put out, and if you can see closely, this guy right here, this guy, funny enough, he's the same guy in this picture. So, these are connected, which means they're part of the same damn group. The lady next to the person that was my friend, she was like, let me tell you a story about my next door neighbor. So my next door neighbor wanted to join the religion with us. After I joined, I introduced it to her, and she said, yeah, I'm ready to go, but let's give me until like 1 more day or 2 more days, and then I'll come over. And then the next day, she went to the doctor and she found out she had this like really terrible cancer, and then she couldn't leave the hospital after that. And then her one biggest regret before she died was that instead of finding out that she had cancer, she had gone to the prayer place the day when she was invited rather than wait a day, she probably would have had no cancer, would have been cured because she read the wall thing. And that was like the worst story I ever heard about trying to convince someone why they should go now. So they kept saying, well, why wait, just go now, just go now. Because basically after our talk for like 2 hours, they're like, let's go now to the temple, we can still make it to Chiba. Didn't know the name of the cult, so I looked it up, and it's called SGI, and it has about more than 8 million followers around the world. Nichiren was this monk guy long time ago. I don't know if he was a criminal or he was just like a heretic or whatever, but he was like banned from government, and the government of Japan at that time tried to execute him. Bright light shone from the moon and blinded all the executioner people, and then he escaped, so he couldn't be executed. He's the root of this religion, I guess you would call it, or the cult. It's kind of like a mix between Mormonism and Scientology. So there's these ancient scrolls that he wrote. So you're supposed to look towards Mount Fuji, and then you're supposed to read that, and when you read it, it's supposed to make your life happy. But over the years, it's become more than happy. It's like all your wishes are granted. So if you want like a Porsche, or if you want like a hot model girlfriend, if you read that little thing on the wall, the Nam Ring Yongyo, whatever it's called, I still can't say that phrase. If you read that, those things will happen for you. I don't trust people who are pushing you into doing something that doesn't benefit them. Because I asked them, what's in it for you? And they're like, oh no, we just want everyone to know how happy life can be. So I don't have to pay anything. And they're like, no, it's completely free. You just go there, you read the thing, and that's it. And then whenever you have time, you come back. And if you want to come to meetings, you can come every Friday, and we held gatherings, and we can pray together. And I said, you don't have to pay anything. I was like, maybe this could make a good video. Maybe I could secretly film. But finally I said, so no cost. And they're like, no cost. And then finally, right at the end, the other girl, I guess she felt kind of guilty for lying. She was like, well, there's no cost technically, but there is this like one-time yearly fee you pay. It's not a lot, it's like a couple $100. And I was like, there you go, that's the catch I was looking for. Everyone has to pay donation, or a volunteer donation. They didn't say it, but I'm pretty sure they hinted that the more blessed you want to be, and the more you want the reading of that scroll or whatever it is to work for you, the more you pay, the better your chances of your true things happening. So I think basically everyone joins, goes, reads the thing, and then they're kind of pressured, peer pressured, into paying even a little bit of money. So anyway, that's the story of all the religious cult people that have approached me. Well, that's the end of the show. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to thumbs up if you like this video and share. Also, if you'd like to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. So don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my videos, because my videos are awesome. OzzyAwesome. Take care and see you next time.